Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Second day of vibrant Gujarat Global Summit today. Various investments announced on day one. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls on British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, discusses issues related to defence and economic cooperation. UN Security Council strongly condemns Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping, demands immediate end to the attacks. And in sports, India to face Afghanistan in the first T20 International in the northern Indian city of Mohali. Virat Kohli to miss the first match. The 10th edition of Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024 is underway in the western Indian city of Gandhinagar. The summit is seeing participation from around 130,000 delegates from 140 countries over 2 days and is witnessing deals and MOUs worth billions of dollars. Notably, the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit saw industry captains pledging investments worth over 2.38 lakh crore rupees on the inaugural day itself. The announcements were mostly made in the sectors of green mobility, renewable energy and semiconductors. The leaders promising the event and the investment lauded Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his vision and for creating an institutionalized framework that has made this into a global event. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan called the visit by UAE President historic. He also said that next month Prime Minister Modi will be travelling to the UAE. The entire West Asia region is looking forward to the Ayodhya Temple's inauguration later this month, which will be a landmark monument. He also spoke about his Jeddah visit, where Saudi authorities welcomed the Indian delegation to Medina.
Joined in by the Minister of State for External Affairs, V. Muralidharan. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to Doordarshan. How do you look at the entire bilateral relationship as well as also when we are talking about Gujarat as
the participation of so many heads of states and heads of governments, that shows the growing connect that India has with countries across the world. I would say innovation, technology, new areas of activities, industrial activities and economic activities, that shows that India is on par with all any other developed countries of the world. There has been high-level interactions, frequent interactions. I must say that last month, Prime Minister was in Dubai to attend the COP28. Now the President of UAE is here. Next month, the Prime Minister will be again travelling to UAE. So these frequent interactions, it exhibits the existing warm, friendly relationship at every level. Jeddah visit was another historic, I can say, milestone in the fact that we signed the Hajj agreement. But beyond that, the Saudi authorities took keen interest and welcomed us to Medina, which normally is a place where only those who are from the Islamic community is welcome. So that shows that the global leadership, whichever religion they may belong to, they look at India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a partner for them, as a friend for them.
So obviously the opening of the Hindu temple in UAE also is one of the important aspects of the momentum of the relationship. What do you have to say about it?
Definitely, that is an event that is being keenly looked into by the entire region of the Middle East as well as India. I must say that it goes to the credit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership in the world.
DD India also spoke exclusively to the ambassador of UAE to India on the just concluded visit of the UAE president, and he termed it special. The UAE ambassador also spoke on the Hindu temple coming up in the UAE, mentioning that the temple will be inaugurated on 14th of February.
We're joined in by Ambassador Al-Shali, who is the ambassador of UAE to India. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. We just witnessed the huge enthusiasm to welcome President Nayan to Gujarat. What do you have to say about the visit? And we just saw that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and both held a roadshow as well.
We were promised a very special visit, and a special visit it has been. We are all very thrilled that the President was able to visit us in Gujarat and to spend some time here to actually speak at Vibrant Gujarat. Very exciting times.
There has been exchange of MOUs also. Can you please specify on what sectors and what's the vision?
There has been 4 MOUs, 3 of them between the Ministry of Investment and the Government of India, one of them in healthcare. The other one is in food parks, specifically in deciding what land would be used at the food parks project. And the third one is also between the Ministry of Investment and the government in renewable energy. And that is to produce 60 gigawatts of renewables here in India. Now, the 4th MOU is between DP World and the local government of Gujarat in developing sustainable ports.
Sir, what do you have to say about the scope of investments and scope of collaborations, specifically talking about Gujarat, because UAE has the biggest investments in Gujarat compared to the rest of India?
They have been growing significantly, and Gujarat, as you said, is a big part of that. Today, the UAE is the 4th largest investor in India. We are the 3rd largest trading partner. We are the 2nd largest export destination, and this is only going to grow in the near future.
When we're also talking about the Hindu temple that's coming up in UAE, there's a lot of excitement and people are waiting for the inauguration.
Of course there is. As you know already, it's going to be inaugurated on the 14th of February. So we're only a few weeks from that, and we're very excited and thrilled moving towards this inauguration.
India and Korea have a strong cultural and historic bond from the days of Ramayana. DD India correspondent Vishal Barrister spoke to a Korean delegate at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit in Gandhinagar. Let's listen in.
You spoke about Ram Temple and Korea relation. Tell us about that.
About the Ram Mandir, between India and Korea, we have this Princess of Ayodhya who came to Korea 2,000 years ago, who got married to Korean king. Today, more than the population of Sweden is descendants of this Princess of Ayodhya. And when I went to Ayodhya temple in February 2023, I learned that Princess of Ayodhya is connected to Lord Ram. And many people in Korea, they don't know about it. So in that sense, I made a proposal last year at Foreign Correspondents Club of East Asia in New Delhi to make a Ram temple in South Korea.
With preparations in the final leg, Ram Temple in pilgrim city of Ayodhya is being adorned like a bride for the consecration ceremony scheduled on 22nd of this month. With elephants etched on both panels holding lotus in their trunks and other beautiful carvings, the first golden door has been installed at the temple. It is about 12 feet high and 8 feet wide. As many as 13 more doors are to be installed within this week. The sanctum sanctorum of the Ram temple is made with pure white Makarana marbles of the western state of Rajasthan. Atop this seat, the idol of Ram Lala will be installed on 22nd of January. Also, the temple structure has been made using 5 lakh cubic feet of pink color sandstone from Bharatpur district of the state. As Ayodhya Dham ramps up its preparations to welcome Lord Ram on 22nd of January in the Grand Ram Temple in the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, a large drum weighing around 500 kilograms has been prepared by the Dagar Samaj of Ahmedabad, made from iron plates on the inside for longer life. The outside of the drum has been plated with copper, and a layer of gold and silver has also been applied on it. The drum was sent off for Ayodhya after puja and chants of Jai Shri Ram by the locals. It will arrive in Ayodhya around 15th of January and will be handed over to the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust. Let's get to other updates now. On the last day of his UK visit, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended a community reception at India House in London. Citing a recent article published in Chinese Global Times hailing India's growth story, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh asserted that the Chinese government now accepts that India cannot be ignored at the global level.
I believe that the courage shown by our Jawan during the standoff with Chinese troops at Galwan Valley in Arunachal Pradesh helped alter Beijing's perspective on Bharat. We are no more a weak country in the eyes of the world. We are a rising global power.
On the second and the final day of his United Kingdom visit, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh called on British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in London. In the meeting, he highlighted that both the nations have made significant strides in moulding and recrafting the historic ties into a modern, multifaceted and mutually beneficial partnership. Rajnath Singh recalled the recent enhancement in bilateral defence engagement, spanning joint exercises, training, capacity building, increased interoperability, military-to-military ties, especially in the maritime domain. He also stated that the UK and other like-minded countries should work with India for strengthening a peaceful and stable global rules-based order. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh further stated that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is leading the quest of 1.4 billion Indians towards the national objective of becoming a developed country by mid-21st century. At the international level, the government of India is ready to partner with friends like the United Kingdom to strengthen the rule-based world order. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak fully agreed with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on the need for UK and India to work in domains of trade, defence and technology. In particular, he expressed hope that the ongoing free trade agreement negotiations could be brought to a successful conclusion soon. He also underlined his keenness and that of his government to strengthen the defence and security pillar of the bilateral relationship, including through government backing for stronger business and technology partnerships with India counterpart country entities. After the recent visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Lakshadweep Islands, inquiries about the island have skyrocketed over the internet. A large number of bookings have increased in the Bengaram Island in the last few days. The online travel portal Make My Trip said that there is a whopping 3,400% surge in searches for Lakshadweep after Prime Minister's recent visit. The visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Lakshadweep has seen a record-breaking surge in online searches for the Lakshadweep Islands. The archipelago, famed for its pristine beauty, has seen an unprecedented spike in views on its Wikipedia page, soaring from an average of under 2,000 to a staggering 700,000 views in just 4 days, starting from 5th of January. As per statistics by Google Trends, under the tourist destination category, Lakshadweep saw a major spike in Google searches, particularly on 8th of January, with a 100% increase alone on that day. Up next, we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. The Indian Enforcement Directorate on Thursday summoned National Conference President Farooq Abdullah in the money laundering case. MP Farooq Abdullah has been summoned by the ED in connection with the investigation into the irregularities in the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association. He has been called to the ED office in Srinagar. The 5th Waterbird Census and Kaziranga Bird Conservation Festival began in Kaziranga Tiger Reserve on Wednesday with the participation of hundreds of enumerators, students and volunteers. The bird census has started in 118 wetlands, with the final figures to come out in the next 2 to 3 days. The park is renowned for its significant waterbird population, particularly the bar-headed goose. New Delhi's Kartavya Path is flocked up early in the morning for the rehearsals ahead of India's Republic Day parade, with contingents marching shoulder to shoulder amidst the cold wave conditions. Delhi police has also issued a traffic advisory on Wednesday in view of the Republic Day parade rehearsal. In a first, the Border Security Force's all-women contingent and brass band contingent will participate for the first time in India's Republic Day parade at Kartavya Path in New Delhi. The BSF calls it a Mahila Foot contingent comprising of 147 women cadres belonging to almost every state of the country. Up next, we're heading for a short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Violence surge in Ecuador. Number of arrests have been made after the army was deployed to restore law and order. White House plans to send an unofficial delegation for Taiwan elections. Republican-led panels in the House of Representatives recommend holding U.S. President Joe Biden's son Hunter in contempt of the U.S. Congress.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get to more international updates. A UN Security Council has demanded that Yemen's Houthis immediately end attacks on ships in the Red Sea, calling navigational rights and freedom in the Red Sea a global challenge.
Threat to navigational rights and freedoms in the Red Sea is a global challenge that necessitates a global response. The basic principle of freedom of navigation is at stake, and the Houthis and anyone who enables them need to hear a clear message from this council. These attacks must stop.
The UN Security Council in a resolution also called on the Houthis to release the Galaxy Leader, a Japanese-operated vehicle carrier linked to an Israeli businessman, along with its 25-person crew.
Houthis have repeatedly attacked commercial vessels with advanced weaponry, such as anti-ship ballistic missiles, drones, and small boats. The Houthis have also seized the Japanese-operated Galaxy Leader and continues to hold the ship and its crew for nearly 50 days. Once again, we strongly demand the Houthis to release the vessel and its crew immediately and unconditionally.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that there will be consequences for continued attacks in the Red Sea by Yemeni Houthis. Blinken accused Iran of aiding the Houthis' Red Sea attacks and also called for Iran to stop supporting the rebel group.
Clear with more than 20 other countries that if this continues, as it did yesterday, there will be consequences, and I'm going to leave it at that. These attacks have been aided and abetted by Iran with technology, equipment, intelligence, information, and they are having a real-life impact on people.
Shifting focus now, a top White House official met on Wednesday with a senior Chinese official, and the two discussed tensions over Taiwan and the South China Sea. The meeting took place in Washington, and the two officials also discussed other global issues, including the Middle East and Russia's conflict against Ukraine. They reaffirmed support for continued high-level diplomacy and interactions between the US and China. Meanwhile, the White House plans to send an unofficial delegation to Taiwan following the self-ruled island's presidential and parliamentary elections. However, the participants of the delegation and the timing of their trip are not yet finalized. Taiwan's voters head to the polls on Saturday. Also, US is in regular touch with all of Taiwan's candidates and expects strong security, trade partnerships to continue. They have reiterated that disruption of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait would seriously damage the global economy. On Wednesday, dozens of US lawmakers co-sponsored legislation praised democracy in Taiwan. The resolution said that resolved that the Senate is committed to supporting Taiwan's self-defense and the liberty of its people through effective deterrence using all elements of the United States' power. The resolution has at least 28 Republican and Democratic sponsors in the Senate. The resolution praises Taiwan's rule of law and vibrant civil society, diverse economy and stable political system, and contrasts that with the situation in China. The resolution sponsors hope it will pass by unanimous consent this week. Updates now on Russia-Ukraine conflict. 2 Russian missiles struck a hotel in Ukraine's Kharkiv city on Wednesday. Kharkiv Governor Oleh Syniubov said the strike involved S-300 missiles and 11 people were injured in the attack. Pictures showed many of the windows were blown out and balconies were destroyed, with large piles of rubble in the streets. There were Turkish journalists among those injured. Emergency teams made their way through gaping holes in the facade to sift through the rubble inside. In more updates, Russia's foreign ministry summoned the Moldovan ambassador on Wednesday. Russia issued a protest against unfriendly acts in the latest of a series of jabs exchanged between the Kremlin and ex-Soviet states' pro-European authorities. Moldovan actions have been criticized for their systematic nature, allegedly directed against Russian citizens. Earlier, Moldova's parliament approved a new defense strategy identifying Russia and corruption as the 2 biggest threats to the country's security. Moldovan authorities also blocked several politicians representing a banned party with pro-Russian views from taking part in last November's local elections. Finland has said that it will be extending the closure of its border with Russia. The current closure of its Russian border was set to expire on 15th of January. Finland late last year shut the Russian border to stop a growing number of asylum seekers from entering the Nordic country and said Moscow had orchestrated the inflow of people. The United States and 7 other nations accused Russia of exploiting its position as a permanent member of the UN Security Council on Wednesday. It said Russia acquired North Korean missiles and fired them into Ukraine in violation of the Council resolutions.
The United States, along with France, Japan, Malta, the Republic of Korea, Slovenia, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom, issued a joint statement condemning the military cooperation that has now come to fruition between the DPRK and Russia. It's abhorrent that a permanent member of the UN Security Council is flagrantly violating Council resolutions to attack another UN member state, violations that further the suffering of the Ukrainian people, support Russia's brutal war, and undermine the global non-proliferation regime.
Meanwhile, Russia's ambassador to the United Nations said that the United States seemed to be spreading wrong information that Moscow was firing North Korean missiles at Ukraine.
This information came from US John Kirby, an official representative of the White House stated this a few days ago, and in fact a representative of the Ukrainian armed forces, the Air Force specifically, said that Kiev did not have any evidence of this fact. So the US seems to be spreading information that is wrong without going through the trouble of checking this beforehand.
между важными гражданскими лицами, гибель которых можно...
As violence surges in Ecuador, a number of arrests have been made after the army was deployed to restore law and order in the South American country. Launching a military crackdown on the gangs, Ecuadorian armed forces have arrested 329 terrorists and 5 others were killed. While inmates in Ecuador are holding more than 130 prison guards and other staff hostage in at least 5 prisons. Earlier, few gunmen took over a television station live on air, and explosions erupted around the country on Tuesday in a dramatic wave of fresh violence this week. The hostage-taking began in the early hours of Monday after the apparent escape of a gang leader from the prison over the weekend, spurring Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa to declare a 60-day state of emergency. The sense of calm has been stripped away from the Quito locals as people in Ecuador are struggling since the nation went into a turmoil. Businesses around the Ecuadorian capital of Quito remained closed as few people braved the streets amid uncertainty of violence escalating further. As Ecuador faces gang violence, the Ecuadorian president, Daniel Noboa, said that his country is fighting terrorist groups. In an interview to a radio station, Noboa asserted that Ecuador is at war and he cannot cede in the face of these terrorist groups.
It is a non-international armed conflict. We are fighting for a national peace. We are also fighting against terrorist groups, which today number more than 20,000 people. We will not give in to the stupid things that they are used to doing. They, I mean the terrorists who are in these prisons. It is difficult, it is hard, and I also sympathize with the families of the kidnapped officials. We are in a state of war and we cannot give in to these terrorist groups.
The United States have also extended their help to the South American country. According to the White House spokesman John Kirby, the United States is monitoring the situation and is willing to cooperate with the Ecuadorian government to deal with the violence. Though Kirby also has ruled out the possibilities of any U.S. military support.
Well, so first of all, our concern is over the violence and seeing that stops. And as you saw from Mr. Sullivan's tweet, we strongly condemn these recent attacks, and we are committed to helping support security and prosperity for the people of Ecuador. I would just say, look, we're monitoring this situation. We're willing to take concrete steps to improve our cooperation with the government of Ecuador as they begin to deal with the violence and the stressors on the population that this violence has occurred. And I think I'll just leave it at that.
Amidst the wave of violence in Ecuador, its neighboring country Peru has also put the guards up. Peruvian police have strengthened the operations on its borders and the bordering northwestern city of Tumbes on Wednesday. According to a Peruvian commander, 400 agents were deployed to the border, along with another 60 officers from Peru's Special Operations National Direction. More reinforcement is also expected later in the day. U.S. House Republicans on Wednesday moved towards holding Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress for not testifying in their impeachment probe of his father, President Joe Biden. Republican lawmakers in both the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees held the votes after the younger Biden refused to appear for a closed-door deposition last month, instead saying he would testify publicly, which they rebuffed. House Republicans alleged that the president and his family improperly profited from the policy actions in which Biden participated when he was vice president from 2009 to 2017. The White House and Hunter Biden deny any wrongdoing. Hunter Biden faces his own legal troubles. He is due to appear in a Los Angeles federal court on Thursday to face criminal charges of failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes. He has also been charged in Delaware with lying about his drug use while buying a handgun. He has pleaded not guilty to the Delaware charges. A short break ahead, but after the break, new Bangladesh cabinet will take oath today. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister denounces police strikes after deadly riots. And UN demand Yemen's Houthis to immediately end attacks on ships in the Red Sea. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News On, and I'm Preeti. A quick recap of the top stories once again. It is the second day of Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit today. Various investments were announced on day one. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls on British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, discusses issues related to defence and economic cooperation. UN Security Council strongly condemns Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping, demands immediate end to the attacks. In sports, India to face Afghanistan in the first T20 international in the northern Indian city of Mohali. Virat Kohli to miss the first match. In Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina's new cabinet, composed of 25 ministers and 11 state ministers, is set to be sworn in on Thursday evening. On Wednesday, the president invited Awami League president and incumbent Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to form the new government. Hasina's party, Awami League, bagged a landslide victory in the parliament polls held on Sunday. This will be her fourth consecutive term and a total fifth term as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. A total of 15 ministers, 13 state ministers and 2 deputy ministers have not so far called to take oath for joining the Bangladesh new cabinet. Portfolios will be known today after the oath ceremony. Naval Singh Parmar joins us with more from Dhaka. Naval Singh, good morning. We have just given a broad outline of the cabinet which will be taking oath today. You spell out more details. Let us get more updates from you on the cabinet which composes of 25 ministers and 11 state ministers. Get us the details first.
There will and the cabinet secretary, total 25 minister and 11 state minister will take oath today at evening at Bang Bhavan, which is the South.
All right, we regret the disruption in the audio there. We'll try getting back again to Naval Singh Parmar to get more on the oath taking of the cabinet in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, let's get to other updates. South Korea's main opposition leader, Lee Jae-myung, faces further setbacks after 3 senior members of his Democratic Party left due to disagreements over his leadership. Lee Jae-myung survived a recent stabbing attack and was discharged from the hospital on Wednesday. He said his stabbing would mark the end of the politics of hate. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Lee Nak-yeon, a member of the Democratic Party, is expected to hold a news conference on Thursday to announce his plan to launch a new political party. In Papua New Guinea, looters target shops and businesses around the capital Port Moresby after a pay dispute involving the nation's security forces sparked angry protests. According to reports, 15 people have died in violent unrest and riots in the capital of Port Moresby and its second largest city, Lae. The government on Wednesday ordered the military to restore order in the capital. Also, a police strike on Wednesday over a pay cut that officials blamed on an administrative glitch descended into lawlessness over the day. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape later clarified that an extra $100 had been deducted from the paychecks of public servants because of the computer glitch, and the government was not raising taxes as the protesters claimed.
Ill discipline in police force will not be tolerated. Ill discipline in defense will not be tolerated. I want to offer some commensurations and apologies to the business houses that faced loss yesterday. It was not in your doing, but in the hands of civil disorder. Your government will look into some relief measures as to how we could assist in rebounding those businesses.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has meanwhile called for calm in neighbouring Papua New Guinea on Thursday. Albanese said that Australia was monitoring the situation via its High Commission and had not received any requests for help from Papua New Guinea, which it regularly supports in policing and security. In Somalia, Al-Shabaab terrorists captured a United Nations helicopter carrying 2 Somali men and several foreigners when it made an emergency landing in an area controlled by the Islamist group. The aircraft encountered a defect shortly after taking off from Beledweyne city in central Somalia before it landed near Hindere village bordering Galdoudud region. The United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia later confirmed that there had been an incident involving a UN-contracted helicopter that was conducting an air medical evaluation.
I can confirm that there was an incident involving a UN-contracted helicopter that took place today in Galmudug in Somalia. Response efforts are underway.
Japan authorities urge care and vigilance against hypothermia in Ishikawa earthquake zone as snow and freezing temperatures plague survivors and evacuees. Heavy rain was forecast in the quake-hit areas, raising fears of further dip in temperatures that could hinder people in the shelters. Experts have warned of hypothermia and have urged all to take precautions at evacuation centers amid freezing temperatures. All right, just a while back, we were joined in by a correspondent from Bangladesh to spell out more on the oath-taking of Sheikh Hasina's cabinet. And Naval Singh Parmar is joining us again on phone line. Naval Singh, please continue. We were seeking details from you on the cabinet that will be taking oath today. 25 ministers and 11 state ministers are to take oath. Please spell out more details.
Yes, today evening at Band Bhavan, which is the President House of Bangladesh in Dhaka, where 25 minister and 11 state minister will take oath. And surprisingly, in this decision or announcement, which yesterday night came, that some of the heavyweight minister of the incumbent cabinet, there are 30 cabinet colleagues of incumbent cabinet of the Sheikh Hasina are not part of the new cabinet, and that include some of the heavyweight minister of Bangladesh East-Wales cabinet, and in that the foreign minister A.K. Abdul Momen, agriculture minister Abdul Razak, finance minister Mustafa Kamal, planning minister Mannan, health minister as well as the railway minister and the commerce minister Dipu Munshi are not the part of new cabinet which is taking to oath today. So that is the surprising move, and another thing is that this cabinet is comparatively smallest cabinet in the current decade, which includes 25 ministers and 11 state ministers, including Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. It will be of 37 members in this new cabinet.
All right, this is the smallest cabinet, is what you tell us. Can we also get to know more about the challenges which this new government faces? We tell our viewers that this is the 5th stint of Sheikh Hasina as the Prime Minister of the country.
Yes, the government is facing some of the challenge which is very familiar in entire area, and that is the price rise, inflation. This country is facing price rise since last 2-3 years, and it is now at a very high level. So people are suffering from the price rise, inflation, and at the same time, employment opportunity is very less in Bangladesh, and people are starving for the employment also. These are the main two challenges, because Bangladesh is a country of around 18 crore population, and they are having a limited resource. So manage the affairs to mitigate the aspiration of the people and to welfare of the people. This government needs to do much in the coming days.
All right. Thank you, Naval Singh, for joining in with those details. And up next, we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Crystal clear water and white sand mesmerizes people visiting Turkey's Lake Solda. But due to over 80% use of water resources for agriculture, the lake is now in danger. Shores are seen streaked with white marks, a sign of its drying up. In this region, out of 13 bodies of water, only 3 remain, and one of them is suffering from a spectacular drought. The lake has shrunk by half and lost 20 meters of depth in less than 50 years. As graying Japan's population shrinks and tensions continue to rise, the elite amphibious rapid deployment brigade is trying to attract more women to maintain troop levels. Women are quite upbeat about it. They say that they also want to be in the heart of the action in a unit that would be on the front line of any conflict in Japan's southern islands. ARDB soldiers are trained to land on and retake territory lost to an invader. Spain's Ministry of Environment deployed teams with leaf blowers and sieves on Wednesday to clean up millions of tiny plastic pellets washed ashore after falling from a ship. Over 1,000 sacks of pellets known as nurdles are believed to have fallen from the Tokunau, operated by Danish company Maersk, on 8 December. Experts, however, say there is no real way to recover the millions of plastic pellets. Venezuelan artists are trying to bring fine art closer to the public, for which a series of contemporary statues modeled off the young Spanish princess featured in the 17th century masterpiece Las Meninas sprung up around the Venezuelan capital on Wednesday. Series of 19 faceless fiberglass statues from the artist Antonio Azato are installed on sidewalks and squares in Caracas. A quick break ahead, but stay with us as we tell you and acquaint you with a one-of-its-kind soccer match never played before. Japan's stock exchange Nikkei breaches 35,000 for the first time since 1990. India will face Afghanistan in the first of the 3-match T20 series in Mohali on Thursday.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts. We demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get to updates from the world of business now. As India walks on the path of development, becoming a safe haven for investors, Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that India can emerge as a developed country by 2047 with gross domestic product of $30 trillion, even by a conservative estimate. She also added that India could become the world's third largest economy with GDP of over $5 trillion by 2028. Indian Finance Minister was addressing a seminar at the vibrant Gujarat Global Summit in Gandhinagar, where she also pointed at the immense investment opportunities India has to offer. Asian stocks rose on Thursday ahead of the US inflation data. The benchmark Nikkei index in Japan rose to its highest level since February 1990 as exporters benefited from a cheaper yen. Concerns about a potential rate hike by Bank of Japan subsided due to weak wage data. By midday close, Nikkei share average had increased by 1.94%. The index is headed for its biggest weekly gain since late March 2020 and is expected to advance for a third day in a row. U.S. stocks rose on Wednesday, building steam on strength in megacaps, but gains were limited ahead of inflation reports and major bank earnings later in the week. Microsoft, Meta Platforms, and Nvidia were the biggest boosts to the S&P 500 index as the benchmark 10-year Treasury note yield held near 4% and a $37 billion auction over the notes drew above average demand. The S&P 500 gained 0.57%, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.75%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.45%. The International Monetary Fund and the South American country Argentina have finalized the details of an agreement over the country's embattled $44 billion loan program. Now, the agreement announced on Wednesday will be brought forward for approval by IMF's executive board in the coming weeks. Amidst Argentina's annual inflation heading towards 200%, the new deal will unlock a more than expected $4.7 billion funds for the nation. Argentina's next foreign currency reserves was also in the negative territory. IMF has also approved a new $1.2 billion four-year loan program to support Jordan's economy. Now, this decision will replace a previous loan program that was set to expire this year in March. This new loan program will give Jordan an immediate access to an initial disbursement of about $190 million, with the remaining amount to be phased over the program subject to the reviews. On the ninth day of former media tycoon Jimmy Lai's national security trial on Wednesday, the prosecution read out written evidence submitted by the police. Lai earlier pleaded not guilty to one count of sedition and 2 charges related to national security law. Recorded confessions and Lai's Twitter posts related to financial investigation and financial relationship between Lai and his associates were presented in the court. The trial is now adjourned until next Tuesday. Now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines at the Consumer Electronics Show 2024 that is underway in Las Vegas. A drone soccer match was demonstrated at the show. In the match, 2 teams of 5 compete in 3 sets, each set 3 minutes long. Each player maneuvers his own drone, which is enclosed in a ball-shaped case. Players control the drone balls to score and defend against the opposing team. Organizers hope the game inspires young people to learn how to fly the drones. Different from the traditional ones, recreational vehicles or the RVs that rely on propane and generators were on full display at the show on Wednesday. Founder and CEO of Pebble Flow introduced the vehicle as an all-electric, semi-autonomous vehicle and a next-generation smart home, all rolled into one. Also, the new AI-powered facial recognition system that reads vital signs contactless was also displayed at the show. The system works through a smartphone. The user opens the system and looks into the camera. From there, it takes as little as 10 seconds for the image recognition AI technology to analyze pupil movements and facial patterns to take several measurements, including pulse rate, oxygen levels, and respiratory rate. The world's first 137-inch folding television, CCD-N1, is being exhibited at the ongoing show in Las Vegas. CC's Supermarine series is exclusively built to be used on yachts and offers brilliant pictures under the sun. An additional feature of these televisions is the ability to fold and save space when not in use on the yacht. A quick look at sports updates now. Talking of cricket, India will take on Afghanistan in the first of the three-match T20 series in Mohali today. But both the sides are bereft of their star players. While India's batsman Virat Kohli would be unavailable for the first match due to personal reasons, Afghanistan all-rounder Rashid Khan has been ruled out due to an injury. Take a look at this report for further details. India will face Afghanistan in the first of the three-match T20 series in Mohali on Thursday. Both the sides have lost star players due to different reasons. While India's batsman Virat Kohli would be unavailable for the first match due to personal reasons, he will be back for the second and third games of the series. On the other hand, Afghanistan all-rounder Rashid Khan will miss the series as he needs more time to recover from a lower back injury that required a surgery. Afghanistan's spin attack will be led by Mujib-ur-Rahman, Mohammad Nabi, while Noor Ahmed, Qais Ahmed and Sharafuddin Ashraf will share the burden. Afghanistan's most recent assignment was a 2-1 T20 International Series win over the UAE. Afghanistan will be keen to build on their gains from the 2023 ODI World Cup. They will play 9 T20 internationals between now and the T20 World Cup. Meanwhile, India's coach Rahul Dravid confirmed that Rohit Sharma and Yashasvi Jaiswal are the first choice openers. With Virat Kohli not available for the game, Shubman Gill could bat at number 3. The series marks the final leg of India's preparations for the T20 World Cup in 2024. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are back in the T20 international squad for the first time since India's semi-final loss to England in 2022. Batsmen Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya are injured, while Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj have been rested. It will be interesting to see what the Indian playing 11 would be like. Indore and Bangalore will host the second and third T20 internationals on January 14th and 17th. Sports Desk, TD India. Real Madrid defeated Atletico Madrid 5-3 in extra time in a pulsating battle to reach the Spanish Super Cup final. Atletico opened the scoring from a Mario Hermoso header, but Real fought back through Antonio Rudiger and Ferland Mendy before Antoine Griezmann equalized with a brilliant long-range strike. With a penalty shootout looming, a header bounced off Stephen Savage into Atletico's net 5 minutes from the end of extra time. In the last play of the match, Brahim Diaz finished off a counter-attack into an empty net.
Obviously, the team is really happy. I think we need to relax because it was a back and forth match that was really exciting. But there are still 90 minutes to win the title, and that's our objective. It is nothing new. It is in Real Madrid's DNA. That is a good lesson for the younger players who have come back. The team never gives up. We can lose, but never give up.
I think we had a very good game in the first 90 minutes. There were some very specific things we can improve on, but it felt like we were always present, always engaged and strong throughout the match. And then unfortunately, they managed to score the equalizer, which was well deserved. It was a good play and showed resilience on their part.
A quick look at badminton now. Indian men's doubles pair of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty advanced to the second round of the Malaysia Open Super 1000 badminton tournament. Getting you more on this, the duo were challenged by Indonesian pair of Muhammad Sohibul Fikri and Maulana Bagas, but they managed to overcome the challenge, winning the match 21-18, 21-19. The Indian pair dominated the first game with powerful smashes. They took a 4-point lead at 8-4 and maintained the advantage throughout. The second game was more challenging, with the Indians trailing for most of the match. However, they managed to level the score at 19-all and won the last 2 points to secure victory. But the Asian Games bronze medalist H.S. Pranoy lost to Denmark's Anders Antonsen with a score of 14-21, 11-21. Novak Djokovic and Iga Swiatek have been confirmed as the top seeds in men's and women's singles respectively at this year's Australian Open. The Australian Open will be held from January 14th to 28th. World number 1 and 10-time winner Djokovic leads the men's group, followed by Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic has a 42-0 win-loss record. Russia's Daniil Medvedev, 2-time runner-up, and Italy's Yannick Sinner have been seeded 3rd and 4th respectively. In women's singles, defending champion Aryna Sabalenka is the 2nd seed behind world number 1 Iga Swiatek. Last year's runner-up Elena Rybakina and defending US Open champion Coco Gauff are 3rd and 4th seeds respectively. Police officers paraded on open-top buses through Paris to urge authorities to accelerate talks about labour conditions and pay during the 2024 Olympics to be held in the French capital. Police unions have already called for a January 18th strike to voice their discontent ahead of the Games. Starting in late July, the Olympics are set to put further strain on Paris's workforce amid heightened security threats and chronic staffing shortages at police, hospitals and public transport. Some 30,000 police officers and soldiers will be mobilized to secure the opening ceremony on July 26, when some 600,000 people are expected to watch athletes and delegations sail along the Seine River.
All agents of the Interior Ministry have been asked to be everywhere, but they are not told how to be everywhere, and those who cannot be there aren't told how their time will be organized. Today, their state of mind is not 100% in the condition for us to be present at the Olympic Games. That is precisely the point of this social dialogue. And we today are alerting our authorities to tell them, be careful, the police do not think they are ready.
We now take a look at India's western city of Ahmedabad, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited a flower show in the ongoing Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit. Take a look. All right, that's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.